What's happening? My name is G-Biz on 106 KMEL. I am a co-host for the Sana G Morning Show every day in your AM 6 to 10. Black History Month to me is 28 or 29 days that is observed for remembering Black history in America. The influence and, of course, the additions to U.S. society that Black people have made. But to me, I mean, those 28 days should be going on 365 days of the year. I mean, you know, just being a Black male in America, man, I mean, Black history to me happens every day, same as Black future. You know what I'm saying? I hope that we all out there creating, history that will be considered Black history every day. So, you know, get up and do your best, man, to try to make an impact and influence. Certainly growing up, you know, my mom used to have a whole bunch of different records and books and stuff in the house. We had a whole bunch of good talks. But I didn't really start understanding, I think, my culture as a Black man until I really started doing my own research and my own reading. So, I mean, nobody has helped me more than books, you know what I mean? I feel like there's certain books that Black people in America, every single one should read. At the top of that list is certainly the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think reading that book in high school opened up a whole new level to my consciousness. Also, The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. I also would say, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. That's a strong book as well. There's a lot of different, I believe, information out there that you can read and research on your own. I mean, even speeches, you know what I mean? From Stokely Carmichael to Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton. I mean, it's so much just rich history that is out there for Black people to truly, I think, partake in, soak up, and really learn from. You know what I mean? And the more that you learn, the more proud it'll make you about your own just culture and history, and really respect the blood that flows through your veins, man, because it's amazing, so resilient and just powerful. When I went to Africa, my trip to Africa was very eye-opening, and it awakened my knowledge and my consciousness to a whole new world. I think just being able to go and to walk on the same land that my ancestors walked on, to be able to touch the same soil, and then to commune with the people, you know what I mean? While I was there, I was able to kind of learn a lot more about apartheid. And if you're not really familiar with apartheid, it's very similar to like Jim Crow here in America, which a lot of folks faced during the civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s, but also before that. But I mean, apartheid was going on, I mean, while some of us were alive, you know what I mean? During the late 80s, the 90s, a lot of these same things were going on in South Africa, which were constructs that basically was restricting the people who were natives to that land virtually into, I'm not gonna say slavery, but I mean, they certainly were prisoners. They didn't have the same rights as their white counterparts in the country. And I mean, it was law. And to really see such a caste system go on while while some of us was during our lifetime, was very impactful. And I think that for me, just being able to go and to see the history of what went on with the people there was very influential, because we're so close and we don't even know it, we don't even recognize it. Just being, people of color, whether it's, brown civil rights movement, the red civil rights movement, if you're talking about Native Americans, if you're talking about, the Chicano, movement that went on specifically here in California for a lot of the farm workers as well. Civil rights is nationwide, and it seems like it generally is about people who have been marginalized, and brown people throughout the world, not just Black people, but it shows you how closely knit our history really is, and how much we need to support one another, and just making sure that we uplift one another and just make the world a better place, man, because it's really what's needed. And understanding that your Black is beautiful, man. That's why I love hearing the sisters talk about Black girl magic. I love seeing the support that is going on in Hollywood for making sure that the Oscars become more diverse, making sure that the Grammys become more diverse, because it's important, man. And if we don't create these stories, and if we don't create the narrative for ourselves, nobody else is gonna do it. What are ways I've helped the Black community? I mean, look at me, baby. Me just being here. No. But on top of my own handsomeness, I would also say, I actually do youth work. I've been doing youth development for over 10 years now. Primarily in lower development and what are called urban communities. For those who don't know, urban generally means black. So yes, I work with a lot of children of color and just teach them, the things that I love in life, which is music. I clearly work at a radio station, so I've had a love for music my entire life. Came from a very musical family. Played instruments growing up. My brother played instruments growing up. My whole family sung in church. So I run a program in two predominantly black neighborhoods here in San Francisco, in Hunters Point and also in Fillmore, and also, parts of East Oakland as well, where I teach youth, everything from songwriting to beat production, stage performance training. We give them recording time. So we really kind of help enrich the youth in these communities to not only learn more about music, but learn more about themselves, man. And it gives them a real sense of pride, from just within themselves, knowing that they can do it. And also builds up their understanding for what really goes into their culture. Black people are always told, oh, we got rhythm and oh, we know how to dance, but you don't understand that those drums that you hear and those 808s all came from Africa, right? A lot of these sounds and these tones that we hear have originated in Africa, because Africa was the birthplace of all civilization. So you have to understand music is very meaning and deep to us because it runs within our veins, man. So for me, I get up every day and just try to enrich my people. And I try to walk it, not just talk it. You know what I mean? I'm really out here working with youth and trying to make sure that we create a better tomorrow for them. But also trying to help my folks, man, and let people know how important it is to love black, to buy black, to work on really making sure that we better the world for the next generation of our youth, man, because that's what's important. You feel me? Because we're only here for a moment, and then we return back to the ground. But your impact can live forever if you really sow the seeds today. What's up? My name is G-Biz, 106 KMEL, and I am Black History. Oh, cause I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all. Well, you see these naps? It's true.